Hey guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven, and happy Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. I knew it was Valentine's Day because I saw on Facebook people were posting pictures of flowers and food and romance, and I posted a picture of a zombie eating Cupid by the leg because that's how I feel about Valentine's this year. I do have a cat and I have half a pizza left, so the day can't be totally lost, right? Um, but another bright point in the day, besides my sweater, is that I was tagged in the flight attendant tag video thing on YouTube. I'm super excited. On YouTube, you'll see a lot of us flight attendants making vlogs, and I don't know who started this, but they listed 6 questions. They answered 6 questions that are very common to flight attendants, and then they tagged another flight attendant vlogger, and then that person was to do the same thing. And this afternoon, when Tracy, one of my absolute favorite YouTubers, she and I have a channel, both have a channel that's around the same size, and I love watching her videos. She's so charming and so down to earth, and she just I think she shows a real genuine window into what it's like to be a flight attendant, the good, the bad, and the ugly. She does great travel videos, great travel tips. She's very inspirational in that way, and there's just something just undeniably charming about Tracy. So if you've not watched her videos, I would definitely suggest going to visit her channel after you watch my video, and visit the Chocolate Stew and tell her I said hi. Hi, Tracy, just in case you're watching this. I just love her. I just do. I wish I were in Orlando more often. To run into her would just be amazing. I would giggle and giggle and giggle. I just think the world of her. So she tagged me this afternoon in my, put this back in my camera. And so I'm gonna answer the 6 questions that she was asked and that she answered, and then I'm gonna tag another flight attendant. And this person I'm gonna tag doesn't do a lot of flight attendant content, but she is a coworker, and I think the world of her as well. We don't work together very often, but there's just something about her that I just find so charming. Again, she's just so stinking pleasant, that I just think the world of her. And so I'm going to tag her in this video. She probably already knows, if she's seeing this right now, she probably knows it's going to be her, but I'm not going to tell you who it is until the end of this video. All right, so there's 6 questions. They're not hard. I'm going to try and keep it simple in answering them, though, because you know how I talk. All right, so the first question is, where are you based? I'm based in Las Vegas, Nevada. It took me probably a year to say Nevada, because I'm from Boston, where we say Nevada. I applied to work out of Fort Lauderdale, but thankfully I got Las Vegas. And I say thankfully because I just couldn't imagine the cost of living in Fort Lauderdale, or Chicago. Vegas, while on reserve, I was still able to get a studio apartment that I'm in right now, on reserve salary. So the fact that the cost of living here is so low, I'm just super, super pleased. And we do a lot of flying, and Vegas has become our second largest base in the company. So I just feel very, very lucky to be here in Las Vegas. I just found out I'm number 402 out of like 640 flight attendants. So I'm not doing too bad here in Vegas. I love it here. I love it here. The weather is amazing. It rained torrentially all day today, but for the most part, the weather's just unbeatable. All right, so what is your favorite layover city? It's almost impossible to say one. If I were to say one, my first favorite would probably be Newark. Not Newark for Newark's sake, but because it's right a trainway away from Manhattan. Excuse me. We do fly into LaGuardia, but I've never flown into LaGuardia. Apparently, that's not a bad thing because apparently no one likes LaGuardia. So I go into Newark if I have a long layover. I just take the train into the city, And I just love New York, particularly in the spring, in the fall. But New York, I love our Oakland layover for a couple reasons. Our Oakland hotel is just steps away from the airport, so it's super easy to get to the hotel, especially on during a late night when you don't want to drive, 25 minutes to the hotel. And again, like New York City, you can hop on their BART, their mass transit system, and be in the middle of San Francisco in no time. And I love San Francisco almost as much as I love New York. But there are times that I don't want to go into a city or do anything. I want to just sleep. And there are times that you just want to lay over. We're going to crash in that bed and not get up until your van time. And in that case, I think Detroit. Detroit, because our layover hotel is absolutely nowhere. There is nothing to do near our hotel. The beds are super comfortable, and the staff at the hotel are wonderful. So, in that case of just sleeping, just for a relaxing, lazy, play video games all day and sleep layover, Detroit. Let's see. What's your biggest flight attendant pet peeve? Well, let's talk. I think I've mentioned it before, but people standing up or moving about the cabin when the seatbelt sign is on. It is terrifically dangerous. A coworker recently broke her ankle during turbulence. In the news, was it just yesterday, I think, that a Delta flight had to land a diverted landing into Reno because there was such terrific turbulence that 5 people were injured. There was a short image or a short video I saw where the aisle was completely strewn with luggage and bags and detritus, and there was a cart, a beverage cart, right in the middle of it, in the aisle. I think it was upside down. That flight must have been terrifying. And 1 or 2 people were either without their seatbelts being fastened or walking to the bathroom because, I gotta pee. So that's my biggest pet peeve is people moving about the cabin because it's dangerous, folks. Oops. Sorry, one of those planes I told you about. It's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So if you do make a habit of getting up when you're a passenger on an aircraft and the seatbelt sign's on, please sit down. Please sit down. Isn't that a song? Eminem, whatever. If I were to have a second pet peeve, it would be, as a flight attendant, it would be backpacks. And people come on board wearing backpacks, especially my airline, because, we charge for baggage fees. So people do their best to pack as much as they can in a backpack. And they come on board with these giant backpacks full, shoes hanging off it like Christmas ornaments. And they move around the cabin as if they're not twice their width now. And they try to sit down in our seats with a backpack on. And it just makes everything awkward. It slows the boarding process down, and it's just a nightmare. It's not very safe. So that would be my second flight attendant pet peeve, would be people wearing backpacks on airplanes. People grabbing my butt to just give me an empty cup or some trash would be my third, but it's nowhere near as bad as the first 2. 4, what is my favorite thing about being a flight attendant? And that's easy. Our passengers. Hands down. There's nothing better about the job. Well, there are nice things. Some people find the travel benefits to be amazing. Now, I haven't traveled abroad in a long time, not since I was a teen. So I haven't used my flight benefits outside of the country. I do fly around the country fairly often. I use my flight benefits more than most, and I enjoy them. But I traveled a lot in my life. So traveling isn't always the most exciting thing in the world. But the people we meet every day on that airplane are just amazing. Some people don't know how to be loved. Like stray cats. Some people just don't know how to be cared for or to allow other people to care for them. And to be someone who can sometimes take care of those people and make them more comfortable and happy than they thought they'd be is super, super satisfying. And then, you know, of course, you find those people who like to chat and who like to share stories. I've met amazing people, but you meet these occasional folks that just really brighten your month. A while back, I was chatting with this gorgeous little family from India. There were two kids and two parents, and the kids were just treasures. And the parents, we chatted a bit, and they invited me to stay with them in their home in India, Mumbai. And I'm like, wow, like just you meet the most amazing people. Celebrating the life's joys, seeing little brand new babies come on board. But you also experience some really, really sad stories and some tragedies. One of my first real big serious encounters when I became a flight attendant was this woman. I've mentioned this in a story a long time ago, but this woman was flying from Fort Lauderdale to Chicago late at night or super early in the morning, pitch black, and she was in the very last row with two little kids, and she was just trying not to have the absolute epically worst day of her life. She was flying to Chicago to ID the body of her 19-year-old son who had died of an OD, and the human connection that we were able to make during that experience. I was doing my best to care for her as much as she'd allow me to. Was just really an amazing experience. So, of course, there's the joyous, there's the happy, and there's also the sad and the tragic. But the experiences I have with our guests and our passengers on board is my absolute favorite part of my job. Um, let's see. What made you decide to become a flight attendant? Okay, so if you watched this video I made a while back that was called something like Before I Was a Flight Attendant. Before I became a flight attendant, the spring, summer, and fall of 2016, into the winter, I was, for the most part, homeless. I was living in my car in around the Tampa area. And that Christmas of 2016, one of my best friends, Steven, invited me up to Atlanta. He had this giant house in Atlanta for Christmas. And so I went up there. We went up to his house in North Carolina in the Smoky Mountains. It was just gorgeous for Christmas. I wish I had my channel then. And while I was there, he was saying, Stephen, why don't you move here to Atlanta? The job opportunities are so much better than Florida. And so I did. So what I did was, while I was there for Christmas, I applied for any job I could get that didn't bite entirely. So I had been most of my life in luxury. So I applied at Neiman's, at Saks. I applied at all the luxury hotels. I applied really pretty much everywhere that seemed anywhere near prestigious or that would offer me some money, because I was lacking in both. And one of those things was Delta, because, Atlanta, Delta. And so I applied for Delta. And Stephen said, well, if you really want to be a flight attendant, and I really didn't want to be, if you really want to be a flight attendant, you should probably apply for more than one airline. And so I applied for JetBlue, Southwest, Delta. I applied for American. I did not apply for United. I don't know why I didn't apply for United. And I applied for Spirit. And who else did I apply for? I think that's it. I applied for those airlines as well. And then I got a job offer at Saks that I should have been thrilled with, to be working in fine jewelry, again, with very expensive things. But walking out of there, I got an invitation to a hiring event by one of the airlines that I work for now. And I went, and I fell in love during the orientation. I fell in love with my airline. I just that 1 hour of what they shared with us about our airline, I fell in love with it. And even though I knew how little money I was going to make, because they shared with us that too, I fell in love. And the minute they made that first cut for people who didn't make it, I was terrified. I wanted this job suddenly, desperately. So that's it. So I was living in my car. It was a 2004 Ford Freestar minivan. If you want to Google that, picture me, almost 6'2", living in that. I wanted a better life, and I was given that opportunity by my friend Steven, who allowed me to move into his house for the time it took to prepare for my new job, and then my airline, which has given me my wings and has given me everything I've really wanted. So that's what that is how I became a flight attendant. It wasn't quite a decision. I kind of fell into it, but I'm so blessed. What is the best advice you could give a new flight attendant? I made another video about this, and I think it was titled something like, "What does every flight attendant need? Patience." Patience, grasshopper, for every single aspect of this job. You apply for this job, and then on Facebook, I hear 2 or 3 days later, "Oh, I applied and I haven't heard back. Oh, I really want this job. When do you think I'll hear back from them?" Be patient, relax, calm down. The process can sometimes be long and involved. You'll hear from them if it's a yes or a no. You'll hear from them. But in the whole process of going to training, patience is required. When you become a flight attendant, boy, oh boy, patience with crew scheduling, with our guests, with layovers, with delays, with cancellations. Patience. Practice patience. And if that means you have to practice meditation or prayer or something, hop to it. Because being patient is absolutely required. So that would be my best advice for any new flight attendant. I will give you a second piece, though. Before you even start applying for the job, when you even think I might want to be a flight attendant, get rid of your bills. Either pay them off or sell the things. So if you have a car you can't afford to keep when you're a new flight attendant, sell it. House, rent it out, get some roommates, sell it, whatever. Save up as much money as you possibly can, because I'll tell you, the first year or two as a flight attendant, you'll be eating ramen noodles and dry cereal. So no matter who you work for, it'll be tough. So that would be my other one, is to save as much money before even applying. Save your coins. But patience is the most important thing I would tell you to learn. And that's it. Those are my 6 questions. I still managed to stretch this out to 18 minutes now. I think Tracy's videos was 8 minutes. This is not a surprise to me. So the person I'm going to tag is Casey. I don't think you're surprised, Casey. Casey, if you want to go visit her YouTube channel, her YouTube name is A Brave Star. I think it's the best named channel too. A Brave Star. And her name is Casey. And she is a flight attendant. She doesn't do a lot of videos about being a flight attendant. She does mostly videos about her planning. She's great at planners, and she inspires me all the time. I just never do it to actually become more organized. And there's something like Tracy. Casey is just undeniably charming, and I'm sorry, I'm just looking up and seeing a bug on my ceiling. It's probably tried to escape the rain. I don't know what it is. Casey is just undeniably charming. I could listen to her read the phone book. I really could. I just think she's great. So I would love to see her film this YouTube video. Flight Attendant Tag. So Tag, you're it, Casey. So go to it. And I'll thank you guys for watching. And I will talk to you again very soon. Have a great night and fly safe. Bye. Happy Valentine's Day. Mwah.